Hello. Today, five signs that you're not with your twin flame. And you might be going, what? Why are you talking about this? That's dumb, right? Because presumably the majority of you watching, you're not with your twin and you want to know how you can be with them, right? And that's not really what I'm talking about in today's video, although you should still watch the video because you're going to learn a lot today, guys. A lot. Um, so this video is it maybe going to confirm like what it's really like to be with your twin flame and how you can actually get your twin flame to be with you. And we're going to do it by learning about this misconception that you see on the internet about twin flames and how it works a lot like soulmates. And you'll even see like twin flame couples on YouTube going, "Hi, we're twin flames." And they seem perfectly happy, and that's what you want with your twin flame. But the thing is, they're probably not. I'm just going to say that. I mean, I'm not out to get anybody, but guys, a lot of people think this is like soulmates. And so you're going to get a lot of that on the internet. You guys, I'm not here to put anybody down. I don't think I'm better than anybody else. That's really not it, guys, but you are in an information matrix when you're on the internet. People can say anything they want to say about any topic on the internet: finance, health, diet, exercise, um, politics, home repair, psychology. I mean, anything, you name it, anything. There's a million different ideas that all conflict, right? Especially the things that I just named off: politics, diet. People argue endlessly about those things, guys. And so it's not really that. So I've done videos about this before, the three types of twin flames, right? There's really only one kind of twin flame. And a lot of people, they think that twin flames is like this. So if you're not looking at your screen, have a look at your screen for just a second. Because a lot of people think it's like spiritual soulmates, like just really super amazing soulmates. And it looks like this or something, or we're going to save the world on our twin flame mission. Or it's like another version that you're going to get all the time from people is like, oh, it's just like Jack and Rose from Titanic. Some people think that Titanic is a twin flame movie, or The Notebook. Do you remember The Notebook? Yeah, those are soulmate movies, guys. Okay. So my twin flame is permanently in my life. I've coached over 7,000 twin flames. I made lots of videos about this. I've got thousands of people on my YouTube channel leaving their testimonials all the time talking about, hey, I'm with my twin. Your coaching worked. Thank you, Kurt. And when they describe what it's like to be with their twin flame, it's as the soul. It's as the soul. Okay. And that'll make sense to you by the time we're done. What does everybody say about twin flames? It's one soul in two bodies. So you're the same soul. So the soul is this intensely romantic, emotional thing, huh? You know that's not true. Remember, body, mind, soul. Emotions come from the mind. The soul is just peace. It's not boring. It's not boring. Sometimes when I explain this to people, they go, well, that sounds boring. Boredom is an emotion. Okay. It's not boredom, it's peace. That's what it's really like to be with your twin. Like when the running and chasing ends for good and they stay, it's like that. It's spiritual, guys. It's not what people think it is. So here's the five signs. Number one, you two love each other emotionally. We kind of just talked about that. And again, you might be sitting there going, well, if I can't love them, what's the point? Well, the point is that they trigger your spiritual awakening. That's it. Being with your twin isn't really the purpose. That can happen, and it often does. Again, I've got a whole playlist on my YouTube channel called Twin Flame Success Stories. If you want to go check it out, go to my homepage of my YouTube channel and look for Twin Flame Success Stories. I got a bunch of people that are married to their twin flame. I've done student interviews. They're living together. Their twin flame is after them. And then there's people always leaving comments all over my YouTube channel all the time. Kurt, it worked. Oh my God. And you were right. It's peaceful. It's spiritual. It's not emotional. Why? Because your twin flame is your spirit. This isn't soulmates. This isn't soulmates, you guys. Oh, and before I forget, I actually have a free master class specifically about that. It's called the number one mistake everybody makes on the twin flame journey, right? And I bust the soulmate myth. So there's a link down below when you're done. It's absolutely free. All you got to do, click the link down below in the description. It's my free master class. It's about 40 minutes long, and you're going to learn a lot, guys. You're going to learn a lot. So check that out. So that's the first one. Soulmates love each other emotionally, and a soulmate is anybody else. Soulmate is subjective. It's subjective. Okay? Your soul is objective because you are you. Everybody else is just everybody else. Soulmate, and it's fine if you want to call somebody a soulmate. There's no problem with that. But it could be a lover, it could be a family member, a friend, a pet, right? And it's your soul and somebody else, right? My soul and your soul. And we met 10 lifetimes ago and we reincarnated over 10 lifetimes and we've been hanging out, right? And I know there's people that are in my life that we've done this before. I know that. And you know that, right? So soulmate, karmic, kindred spirit, there's all these different labels for all this stuff. And people, they want to make it into this like concrete thing. And what I'm trying to tell you is all of those labels are exactly that: soulmate, karmic, kindred spirit, whatever, right? Those are labels for different, like whether you have good experience or a bad experience with somebody else, but it's another soul. It's another being. When you do the thing that we call die, the body goes away, the mind goes away, and your soul exists back on that higher plane. Well, so does theirs. And you're two souls. But with your twin flame, it's different. It's objective. It's not subjective. It's not somebody, again, 10 lifetimes ago, you guys chose to start hanging out. You could have not chose that. It's subjective, and that's fine. That's just what it is, right? But with your twin flame, it's objective because you don't pick them. It's you. Your twin flame is you, guys. Look at your screen if you're not looking at your screen right now. We already know this stuff, guys. Twin flames is reincarnation. Your twin flame is another incarnation of your soul. And I'll even give you some resources where I explain the science behind that. Because what appears to be going on is your twin flame is one of your past lives that you lived in the first person. It's not that you were with them in a past life. That would be soulmates because that's two. What I'm telling you is both are you. Both are you. So when your twin flame does the thing that we call die, they go up to heaven, and when they reincarnate, they're going to be you. Time is part of the illusion of duality. It's relative, okay? So reincarnation, think of reincarnation like a time machine. And that's literally how that science works. So your twin flame is your soul. It's objective. Everybody else is just everybody else. And everybody else, you can love them emotionally. And that's fine. But with your twin flame, that's why they run. There's this push-pull, right? There's this duality between you and your twin flame. And the reason that that is happening, it's mechanical, right? It's mechanics. The reason that is happening is because they're your past life and you're approaching this through the mind. So the healing techniques that a lot of people do, you know, the mirror exercise. Again, 7,000 students that I've coached, guys. Nobody has to do healing. This is actually easier to get your twin flame to come back than you think it is. So healing, the mirror exercise, clearing your chakras, clearing your karma, healing your inner childhood wounds, that stuff is all fine to do. But if you're doing it to get your twin flame to come back, they're just going to keep running, guys, because your starting point is separation. And That word does not mean what you think it does. That is not a relationship status with your twin flame. That word, twin flames, ripped off from the Zen traditions. And guys like Eckhart Tolle and Ram Dass and Rupert Spira and Alan Watts, they're always going to be using the word separation to describe the mind. Body, mind, soul. The mind is the way that the mind functions is it is only able to perceive reality through separation. So there's I am me, and there's that whole world out there, and I am separate from it. There's we, there's me and my twin flame. And people believe themselves to be a mind. That's actually the first teaching. I have all my twin flame students start by reading this book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. The first chapter of this book, you guys, is called You Are Not Your Mind. That's the name of the first chapter of this book. You are not your mind. Okay? That's what's going on here. You met your other self, your twin flame, your soul, and they shock you into this state of awakening through this dark night of the soul that you're experiencing, right? Or have experienced. In the Zen traditions, they call that ego death, right? So real spiritualism, not the hoity-toity, woo-woo, new agey stuff on the internet, which, again, I'm not trying to badmouth anybody or anything like that, but I want you to get the truth, guys. I want your suffering to end. So people put the label spiritual on all kinds of things. Again, it's the internet. People can fight all day about politics and finance and what kind of food you're supposed to eat, keto, vegan, the food pyramid, whatever, right? People they put labels on all kinds of things. The original meaning of things gets mixed up, which again, that's what the word separation is. It comes from the Zen traditions, Buddha, Jesus, Yogananda, again, Ram Dass, Eckhart Tolle. They use this word all the time to describe the mind. You believe that you are the mind. You believe you are this person, this personality, this thinking, this thinker. That's who you think you are. If I was to walk up to you on the street and say, hey, nice to meet you, tell me about yourself, you're going to say, you're going to tell me a story. You're going to describe to me beliefs that you have, where you came from, who your family is, places you've traveled, experiences you have, beliefs that you have, lifestyle that you live, your career, all these things. It's this mental perception of self, the ego, the personality, right? Rupert Spira, another really amazing teacher of genuine spiritualism, he refers to the ego personality as the separate self. So again, twin flames took that word, and what I think happened 50, 60, 70 some odd years ago, somebody who was on a twin flame journey, they said, this is really just transcendental spiritualism. So all I got to do is transcend the mind and align with my soul. Your twin flame is your soul. And that lingo comes from the Zen traditions. And so I can only assume whoever originally, as a twin flame person, started using those teachings, they were doing it properly, using the words separation, union, which, by the way, union is soul alignment. It's not a relationship status with your twin flame. Union is used in the Zen traditions, okay, to describe the experience of oneness. It's not a twin flame word, guys. That word did not come from twin flames. That word is not a relationship status with your twin flame. It's a higher state of consciousness. And that terminology comes from the Zen traditions. Okay? And again, it's this experience of oneness, which is beyond concept. You can't explain it. And I've experienced this many times where you feel like you're one with the clouds and the sky and the trees and the houses and the people and the buildings and everything. And it's not even that you're one with everything, it's that there's just one thing, and that's all of it. And I am that. And they call that experience union. And I didn't understand it. That's the mind. Remember, body, mind, soul, right? I didn't understand it. I experienced it. And by the way, the first time that ever happened, my twin flame started blowing up my phone right away. Isn't that interesting? So it was this experience of peace, guys. It was not emotional love. It was not so the word love, that's a tricky word because most people they think of something called eros. So there's agape love and there's eros love. Eros, like exotic, erotic, that emotional passion. Agape is spiritual. It's that peace. It's that union, that unity consciousness of oneness. And it's not directed outward. You don't feel agape for something else because that's separation. That's a subject object relationship. I love you. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just not what it is. Agape is just inner peace. And it's this experience of just, I am love. And that's it. There's no outward focus. The mind is what focuses outwardly. It's separation, it's duality. Excuse me. It's that time of the year, allergy season. So that's the first sign that you're not with your twin flame. Or again, I've made videos about the twin flame couples on YouTube. Really great people, you guys. Really super nice people. They're sincere. There's one exception that I know of. There's those two people on Netflix, not very nice people, not twin flames. But other than those two, you're going to get soulmate couples who think that twin flames is like super romance. It's super soulmates. And we're just going to call it twin flames. That was never what twin flames was. Okay? Somebody cracked the code on this a long time ago, guys. And again, you can tell that somebody cracked the code on this because why are we using those words? Nobody does that. Think about your entire life, every conversation you've had about a relationship, or you've had a conversation with somebody else about their relationship. Have you ever used that kind of nomenclature to describe the relationship, or does anybody else do that? Separation, union. Have you ever done that? No, you just say we're dating, or we broke up, or they dumped me. It's not, oh, we're in separation. We got to get into union. Nobody does that, guys. Nobody does that. Twin flames do. And it's just monkey see, monkey do in these twin flame forums and Facebook groups. Everybody, they see each other using that lingo and they don't know why. They just start doing it. And again, I'm not here to criticize. I'm not here to put anybody down, guys. I just want you to know what the truth is. The true twin flame teachings are right under your nose, dude. They're right here. You've been using the teachings the whole time. You just have been using them the wrong way. Again, those words do not come from twin flames. This is very well established. Very well established. And I even address that in my free masterclass down below. I'll show you Eckhart, Rupert, Ram Dass, Alan Watts, all talking about separation. And they probably don't even know anything about twin flames at all. For sure, Ram Dass and Alan Watts, Rupert Spira, and Eckhart Tolle, maybe they've heard about twin flames, but I bet you $1 billion they don't really know anything about it. And no, Eckhart Tolle and his wife, they are not twin flames. They are soulmates. And I'm very happy for them. Eckhart Tolle already had his awakening long before he met her, okay? Your twin flame triggers your awakening. So, again, these words that we're using, so like union is that feeling of oneness. It's that higher state of consciousness, which is beyond concept and thought. Okay, that's what those words mean. And again, Like I said, somebody figured it out. Somebody figured it out a long time ago. How did those words make their way into the current incarnation of the twin flame community? How did they get there? They used to be in the Zen traditions and they still are. They still are. But you've got this weird little twin flame phenomenon over here, this little outlier on the internet where they're using the words too, but they think it's a relationship status, right? So again, the twin flame couples on the internet, great people, really nice, super good people, but they're just confused, guys, and they're confusing you. I think they really want to help you, but they're not. I mean, again, I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's just I want to help you. I want your suffering to end. I want the confusion to end, guys. And the truth needs to be told. These are soulmates, and they're going to give you advice for soulmates. But they call themselves twin flames because twin flames has turned into this fad where it's like super soulmates, and that's not it, guys. And it never was. It never was, guys. So that's the first one. You two love each other emotionally. I've also done a bunch of setup so that the rest of this video, I think, is going to go a lot more smoothly for you. You're going to have lots of clarity today, guys. Lots of clarity. The second sign that you're not with your twin flame is that you believe the dumb twin flame myths. Yes, I said dumb, and I'm not sorry. It needs to stop. Ugh. Okay, I'm going to link down below for you my twin flame myths video. It's also, I've got a playlist on this YouTube channel. Actually, fuck that. I'm not going to link the video down below. Just go to the homepage of my YouTube channel and go find my playlist called The True Twin Flame Teachings. The True Twin Flame Teachings. And in the first, I think, 10 videos, there's one just called Twin Flame Myths. It's about an hour long. If you want to get your twin flame to come back, you guys, you need to do three things. Number one, let go of the myths. They're working against you. You can't fly if you have a dead hippopotamus on your back. Okay? You can't fly if you have a dead hippopotamus on your back. You need to let go of the myths. They're really toxic. I'm not sorry, guys. I'm not sorry. So that's number one. Number two, stop chasing your twin flame. Stop today. And that includes energetically pining for them, yearning for them. Like your whole world is just twin flame information, too. Step three, walk away from the entire twin flame, like drama community. Like get out of that. If you want to do something useful, I guess you could join my Twin Flame Facebook group because it's always going to be people giving you solutions and correct information. If you still need that, go to my Facebook group, right? Because you're going to be talking to people that are with their twin flame. One of my moderators, is it Bella Mina? She's with her twin, guys. They are fully together. My twin flame is permanently in my life. I've coached 7,000 people. That's who's in that Facebook group, guys. You should be in there too. If you still need to do that, you could also sign up for my paid coaching. Go watch the free masterclass. I've got tons of resources, guys. So that's kind of number three is like your goal is to replace all the twin flame stuff with a lifestyle of Zen, learning the art of transcendentalism, real spiritualism, genuine traditional Zen spiritualism. You can start with this book. You can sign up for my paid coaching. It actually works. I'm the only person who can say I've coached thousands of people and I've helped thousands of people to be with their twin, right? But you got to start with these myths, guys. Myths like you both awaken. I've made videos about that. There's a video on my True Twin Flame Teachings playlist called Why Your Twin Flame Doesn't Awaken. What you want is to be with your twin flame. That's what you really want. Well, what if I told you that Your twin flame doesn't have to awaken for you guys to be together. Would you really care if they awaken or not? Of course not. You just want them. And again, if you let all this stuff go and stop chasing your twin flame and go within, align with your soul, that's when they come back. Why? Because they are your soul. And again, your soul is not outwardly focused. Your soul is not separation. The mind is. The mind is outwardly focused. That's why your twin flame runs, because you have this perception that there's two of you. And there's even a metaphysical reason for that, which I address in my What Are Twin Flames video. I cover the science, the mechanics of it. Your twin flame does not awaken, guys. And again, they're one of your past lives. You've lived thousands of past lives. You have. You have reincarnated so many times. So you had a spiritual awakening in every single life? No. Guys, you're having an awakening in this life. Okay? Your twin flame does not awaken, and they don't need to. And it's the people on the internet, these so-called twin flame couples who are soulmates. They're nice people, except for the two people on Netflix, right? But they're both seemingly spiritual people. They're both seemingly like conscious people, right? And they're going, we're twin flames. Yeah, no, they're not. They're just not, guys. They're not. They're soulmates, and that's beautiful. And the people who buy into all of this kind of mythology, they're going to tell you that, oh, we're both awakened and we're twin flames. How do you know you're twin flames? How do you know you're the same soul? Because I know how I know that me and my twin flame are the same soul. Because again, the first time I ever had that unity experience, that of union, that oneness, where it's not even that I'm one with everything, it's there's just one thing, and I am that. And you can't explain it. It's beyond explanation, concept, and mental, the mind. Okay. When that happened, she came right back instantly. You have these deeper Satori experiences of intense inner peace, and your twin flame starts blowing up your phone right away. That's actually one of the main things in my twin flame test. So that doesn't happen for these people. Here's another one. There's a bunch of peer pressure. Here's my list that I made. You guys can see my talking points here. I guess you don't need to see that, but the twin flame mission, there's a bunch of peer pressure from the twin flame community telling you that you got to find what your mission is. And that's not even what a mission really is, guys. Originally, a mission is like a Jehovah's Witness or a Christian or any religion that where you go knocking on doors or you travel overseas and you try to recruit people into the religion and spread the word of God. You're on a mission. That's a mission. I've had people go, well, Kurt, you're doing this YouTube channel. You're on a mission. This is not a mission, guys. I'm a coach. I cracked the code. I started telling people about it. It worked. I helped people to get their twin flame to be with them. And so I started a coaching program. Well, that's a mission. That's not a mission. I'm not knocking on doors. I'm not traveling around the world to spread the twin flame belief system. Okay? That's a mission. And by the way, there's no twin flame belief system. That's another thing. That's the problem with these myths, is they're trying to make an ideology about it. One of the first things Eckhart Tolle is going to tell you is who you are is beyond any kind of mental perception of self or ideology or any of that, you guys. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with belief systems. That's not what we're saying. But that's not spiritual. That's mental. Conceptual belief systems. Okay? The soul is just consciousness. That's it. There's no thinking. There's no concept. You can't understand consciousness. Then there's people that have really made an identity out of being a twin flame. I'm a twin flame. Look at me. I'm important now. And you see that. I know you guys see that all the time on the internet. Which is my next point, right? Somebody who has created a spiritual ego. Eckhart Tolle, he talks about that. Again, ego in the clinical sense, right? So an identity form. a mental identity form. I am this personality. This is who I am, and I can describe it to you. And it's gotten to the point online now where people think spiritual is a personality type. Think about that. They think spiritual is a personality type. It's not. And it never was. It's just consciousness, it's just pure existence. And you don't think your way there. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's do an experiment. Watch this. Okay, there's thoughts and emotions going on. Have you ever said to yourself, why am I thinking about this? Or why do I feel like this? You ever said that? Of course you have. Everybody has, right? Okay. Who's asking? How is it that there is awareness of thinking? What is awareness? What is consciousness? What is that? Because it's not thinking, and you don't think your way into consciousness. You just already are consciousness. The problem is, again, people believe that they are their mind. The name of the first chapter of Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now, is you are not your mind. That's the basic tenet of genuine Zen spiritualism, is that you're beyond this mental creature that we believe ourselves to be, right? So again, Eckhart Tolle talking about people who have what he calls a spiritual ego. They've made an identity out of being a twin flame or a spiritual person, which is an oxymoron. Spiritual is where you release identity and experience yourself as this one consciousness. That's your soul. Also, healing, which is psychology, which is great. I want to be clear about that. Totally great. If you know what you're doing, there's a lot of really bad advice on the internet, especially from people who call themselves spiritual, telling you to do some really toxic shit that they call healing. If you really want healing, guys, go talk to a real psychologist. By the way, I did, and it worked, but I wasn't there for my twin flame. We were already good. She was already in my life. We were fine. No running and chasing. We're together. Everything's great, right? So why did I go see the psychologist? To work out stuff with my family, right? Like childhood stuff, my parents, my sister and I, we don't really talk to my parents anymore. Yeah, I was working on that stuff and it worked actually. I feel really good after doing all that. And I let go of all kinds of like narcissistic abuse that I suffered and all that kind of stuff from when I was a kid, right? But I wasn't doing any of that for her. And that's the thing. If you do any of that stuff, again, for your twin flame, your starting point is separation, which is the state of mental perception. It's a state of consciousness, not a relationship status. So your starting point is that there's two of us. That's what you're going to get. Your starting point should be there's me and that's all. There's not I am them. I guess you could say that, but if you really want to get to the core, you got to even get out of that subject object relationship. It's just me. Your twin flame is you, guys. They are you. So healing, that's another one. Oh, how about this? You're doing all this stuff. You're buying into all these myths. You're doing the healing. You think you're both going to awaken. I got to go on a mission, a blah, 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 right? You're doing all that stuff, and your twin flame is not running from you. Okay. If that's going on, you're not a twin flame. You're not with your twin flame. And by the way, being a twin flame is not really special. Notice I just said, you're not with your twin or you're not a twin flame. Well, technically, everybody's a twin flame. So I just wanted to clear that one up because you've reincarnated so many thousands of times, guys, and so has everybody else. There's other people in the world probably that have another incarnation of their soul walking around that they haven't met. There was no soul activation. I don't, or not soul recognition. I don't know why that happens. My only real explanation is that your higher self says it's time. Release the Kraken. All right. And you go through the whole Dark Night of the Soul thing. Um, let's talk really quick about the two cult leaders on Netflix. It is a cult. It's probably borderline illegal, some of the stuff they're doing. I have free speech. I have the right to say that. I just want to say that. I have the right to say that it's a cult, in my opinion. I believe it to be a cult. I don't think I have to justify that. And they're very toxic. They're not twin flames. Now, when you consider the culture of myths that we just addressed on the internet, which is really toxic, again, peer pressure, you got to do this healing, and then they tell you to do healing techniques that are completely self-invalidating and self-gaslighting. A lot of the bullshit spiritual teachers on the internet, I'm not sorry for saying it. It's bullshit. It's bullshit, guys. It's toxic. They're telling you to like wallow in your suffering, to do healing. A psychologist, a legit psychologist would be like, no, right? That's not how you fix that. That's armchair psychology. That's quack psychology, right? You ever heard of quack medical science? Like, I don't know, bloodletting, right? How did that work out? People died. Why? Because that's quack science. And that's usually what you're going to get from the twin flame community. I'm not sorry, guys. It really needs to stop. It's toxic as fuck. And it's way over the top. All that bullshit. If you want healing, go talk to a therapist, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, somebody that knows what they're doing. God, it's not very hard to understand this. Or the twin flame mission, all this pressure to prove that you're a good little twin flame and to awaken through healing, which no spiritual, like real spiritual teacher is going to tell you to do. Buddha, Jesus, Hare Krishna, Krishnamurti, Paramahansa Yogananda, Ram Dass, Alan Watts, Eckhart Tolle, Rupert Spira, Anna Brown, Adashante. I could go on and on, right? The big names in spiritualism that everybody knows. These are the spiritual masters, Buddha, Jesus, Yogananda, Ram Dass, right? What are they going to tell you about healing? You don't need to do that. You can, it's optional, but it's not going to make you more of a soul. You just already are a soul. Moving around emotions and changing how you think and changing how you feel and restructuring thoughts and emotions, that's great, but that's not going to make you consciousness. You are consciousness already. By the way, when you transcend the mind and align with your soul, increasing your consciousness, if you ever do any kind of psychology, it works better. It works way better. My psychologist was an atheist. He was great. He's got all these PhDs. He's a college professor. He's got over 30 years of clinical experience. He was very good and a super nice guy. He told me to do mindfulness meditation. And I was like, oh, well, I've got just the thing because I'm already doing that, right? And he doesn't even believe in God. And he told me to do that. Why? Because they know it works. They know it helps, guys. Now, when you consider all of this, what did you think was going to happen? Of course, we got the two people on Netflix. The so-called twin flame community is, on average, the most fear-based, toxic culture you could ask for. Everyone is peer pressured into joining the twin flame belief system and embracing the twin flame mythology pushed in these twin flame chat rooms and Facebook groups all day long. And if you question these myths, you're called bad and kicked out of the group. It's really scary and narcissistic, guys. It's very narcissistic. And one of the things that narcissists love to do is call their victims a narcissist. And there's a lot of people on the internet that are going to try to out me too. They've been trying to do it for 6.5 years and it still ain't working. I'm still the #1 twin flame coach. I am the world's #1 twin flame coach. Why? Because it's the truth. I tell the truth too much. Sorry. That's why they don't like me. That's why these people got a problem with me, is because I tell the truth too much and I call them out on their toxic bullshit. Of course, we have the two cult leaders on Netflix. What did everybody think was going to happen? Those two are the only outcome that could have possibly come from the toxic twin flame culture online. And I'm not sorry for saying it. It's got nothing to do with consciousness at all. Nothing. Nothing. And the saddest thing about the twin flame myths and culture that's been built up around it is the fact that there are people in those groups who have actually met their twin flame whose suffering gets prolonged as a result of buying into these myths. Your twin flame is your soul, guys, not your mind identity. It's not the ego personality, the separate self. The soul is just consciousness. It's just being. It's just existing. Okay, your twin flame is your soul. You guys are the same soul. The soul is beyond the form of a mental, emotional identity, guys. The object of meeting your twin flame is to let go of form identity. Okay? They trigger your spiritual awakening. These myths only reinforce the ego identity and cause endless suffering for you and whatever's going on with you and your twin flame. You'll just keep going through the same cycles, chasing them, trying to figure out what to do about them, doing all this weird healing stuff. It'll never end, guys. Walk away. Walk away. You can be free. You can be free, guys. And by the way, your twin flame, they'll start talking to you. That's what you wanted, right? You got to let that stuff go, guys. Okay, number 3. People that are not with their twin flame, they believe that healing was the cause of their relationship. Okay, healing does work with a soulmate. Again, like I said earlier, if they're doing that stuff and their twin flame's not running from them. So people that have a problem in their relationship, they can go talk it out and you can fix it. You can get somewhere with it, right? That does work with a soulmate. The reason healing backfires with your twin flame is because the mind has made being with your twin flame the goal. So again, I am me, you are you. I need to get you to be with me. And that's your starting point is separation. Okay? There's no you, there's no them. It's not me and them. I got to get them to be with me. There's no them. There is no them. Your twin flame is you, which means it's all you. There's only you. That's why letting go of the outcome, letting go of this belief that there's two of you, letting go of identification with mind, transcending the mind, aligning with your soul, and just being. That's what gets them to come back. And I want to be clear about this. What I'm not saying is, oh, you got to take your focus off them, stop chasing them, and focus on yourself. Well, that's close, but not quite, because that's a subject-object relationship, okay? That's psychology, and psychology is awesome, but that doesn't work here, guys. It backfires. It works for everything else, but your twin flame is the only thing in the whole damn universe that is also you. The only thing. Everything else is everything else. Everything else is separate from you. Unless you go a few layers deeper to where the source is, and then there's no more separation, right? But probably going to be several lifetimes before you get to that level, right? Like Yogananda or Buddha or Jesus level, right? But your mind perceives separation, so that's what you get. If you're doing anything to get your twin flame to be with you, they run. So this healing bit keeps you focused on your twin flame. That's why they run. You focus on them. Your starting point is that there is a them. There's no them, guys. So dig into the science a little bit. Go to my Twin Flame Science playlist. Watch those videos. Go to my True Twin Flame Teachings playlist. Watch those videos. Go watch my free masterclass down below. Go sign up for my paid coaching, right? You just need to transcend the mind, guys. That's what this is. You got to let go of the twin flame myths. You got to stop chasing your twin flame, and you got to learn the art of transcendentalism. This is how you align with your soul. Your twin flame is your soul. You need to align with your soul for them to come back, not with your mind, guys. If you want to do healing with someone, get a soulmate. All right, next, seeking validation with your identity as a twin flame. Enough said. I'm pretty sure we've covered that one pretty thoroughly. People who have made their personality type to be I'm a twin flame or I'm spiritual. I identify as a twin flame. Look at me. I'm cool now. And there's people that do that all day long. They didn't meet their twin flame. They just want to fit in, and it's all over the internet. They just want to be one of the cool kids. And guys, again, I'm not sorry. There's going to be some people that are going to throw mud at me, that click the fucking dislike button and get out of here, okay? I'm not here for you. I'm here to help the people that actually met their twin flame and end their suffering permanently. And you got to start with this crap, guys. You got to get rid of this crap. You can't fly if you have a hippopotamus on your back. Okay? If you want to know if you really met your twin flame, I just did a video about that. Go to my True Twin Flame Teachings playlist. There's several videos on there talking about here's the 5 true twin flame signs. Okay? And that brings me to the final point. So people that did not have a spontaneous spiritual awakening. Okay? So becoming psychic, that happens to 100% of the people that meet their twin flame. And I'm not necessarily talking about telepathy. It's usually intuition, which is this kind of like knowing. Okay, like I know I met my twin flame. I don't know how I know that. But it feels kind of like deja vu a little bit, right? It feels like deja vu kind of is what that feels like. Um It's this weird, eerie knowing, like I know it's them, or I know we're going to be together. But then there's also thinking about it. So there's the knowing, and there's thinking going on about the knowing. Well, that's interesting. So there's thinking, and then there's the knowing, right? So one is coming from the mind, the other one is coming from the soul. Okay, the mind is trying to understand this knowing. All right, it's called intuition. You think that you are the mind, at least you have up until this point. That might change after today's video, right? So you believe that it's you that's thinking about and trying to understand the knowing. Just like with deja vu, you have this weird, eerie knowing that you've been here before. And the mind goes, how do I know I've been here before? Have I? Did I have a dream yesterday? Blah, 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 blah. And you think you are thinking, but that's not you. The real you is the knowing. That's intuition. And guys, again, it happens to 100% of twin flames. And some of you watching, you may not have experienced this yet. Or if you think you did, maybe you're not really sure. What I always tell people is, well, give it some time. Go watch my twin flame signs videos. Again, on my True Twin Flame Teachings playlist. Go watch that video, and I explain to you all of the signs and synchronicities and stuff that are going to be happening in more detail. And depending on where you're at, you could still be in the dark night of the soul. You're feeling really desperate. You don't know what you're going to do. You're at the end of your rope. There's the obsessive thinking, right? So give it some time. Give it 6 months or something, right? A year, maybe. I don't know. But you will at some point, especially if you let go of the myths and stop chasing your twin flame and start meditating. Again, those are the 3 things. If you're doing that, if you met your twin flame, you will become incredibly psychic. You will be getting blown up every other day with new intuition, information about the future that always comes true, information about other people. Okay, it is a very extraordinary thing to have happen to you. To become psychic, that doesn't just happen, guys. That's why I did a video called Twin Flames. Is it limerence? Is twin flames just limerence? And right off the bat, I started out with, guys, you don't just meet somebody and become psychic as a result of it. That doesn't just happen. No, this is not limerence, dude. This kind of paranormal stuff. Here's the next one, Kundalini. So approximately 80% of people that meet their twin flame have Kundalini. It's a very well understood thing. Please don't add stuff. Every time I try to explain Kundalini, people go, "Oh, well, my foot fell asleep. That's Kundalini." No, that's not Kundalini, and that's not what I think Kundalini is. This is long established, long before I was ever even born, what Kundalini is. Please go find out what Kundalini really is. Okay. Now, what I'll describe to you is what it was like because it happened to me. It's like anti gravity. Okay. You feel this energy moving through your spine, from the base of your spine all the way out your crown. You feel like pulling you up into the sky or something. Or I would feel like pulled around too. And another thing was I would feel the pull going to her. Interesting. And this relates, you might again go watch my twin flame science playlist in my video called What Are Twin Flames? I describe exactly why your twin flame runs, its mechanics. It's not psychological, it's not healing that needs to be done, it's mechanical. It's really super nuts and bolts, okay? It's called the second law of thermodynamics, which has to do with entropy and like the movement of energy. So because your twin flame is your past life, your energy moves to them. And that's actually how I figured out that your twin flame is one of your past lives. Most likely answer because it explains this polarization. Well, anyway, I would feel energy traveling from me to her. And that happens for about 50% of the people that met their twin flame. And again, I've worked with over 7,000 twin flames. That's where I'm getting these numbers from. Okay, the next thing, if you're not having these things, like having a spiritual awakening, you're not twin flames. Okay, you're not with your twin flame. A drastic increase in synchronicities and number signs out of nowhere. 1111, 222, 444, 333, 1111, 144, 1111, 222, 1111, 333, 444, 1111, 1111, 1111. Lots of 1111 and all of these crazy synchronistic events going on. Why is that happening? Because your consciousness is exploding. You literally met your consciousness in another body. It's your soul, guys. Your twin flame is you having another experience in one of your past lives. And they trigger this breakdown of the ego mind, and consciousness just comes exploding out of you, and it's bouncing off the universe, and the universe starts responding to it. That's why that's happening. And by the way, that's why you're seeing their name around. You're not seeing their name around because they're going to come back soon and you're going to be together. Maybe if they were not your twin flame, if they were somebody else, what people call a soulmate, then you would see the person around pretty soon too. But with your twin flame, if you're thinking about them a lot, yeah, you might see their name around, but you're not going to see them around because, again, separation. You are focusing on them. Well, what's your starting point? Your starting point is that there is a them. That's why they run. This works different, guys. The rules are different for twin flames. This is not soulmates. And because it's not soulmates, it doesn't work the way soulmates works. Okay? If you're thinking a lot about your twin flame, you'll see things that remind you of them, but you're not going to see them. This works different because it is different. Next thing, people that haven't met their twin flame, so what, they're not having a spiritual awakening, right? What's one of the other things that happens when you awaken spiritually? You have changed drastically as a result of this experience, or you at least have this intuitive sense that your life is about to change in ways that you can't explain. You have this bigger knowing that something is going to happen. And these have to be naturally occurring to be valid, by the way, guys. This cannot be the product of like psychedelic experiences, taking psychotropics, mushrooms, which is fine to do if you want to, but these are happening naturally. Here's a bonus sign. I'm going to throw this one in at the end, guys. You're able to look back objectively at the whole twin flame experience, and you might not be there yet. And again, some of these spiritual awakening things that I just named off, Also, you might not be having those yet. So just tuck this video away and wait a year and we'll see, right? Okay. So later, you're able to look back objectively at this whole twin flame thing and you're asking yourself questions like, did this really just happen? Was it all just in my head? Do I really want this person? And you're not getting triggered by asking these questions because what little self identity you still have doesn't feel attacked for questioning things and seeking the truth about this. You want the truth no matter what, even if it means you maybe haven't gone through the experience. That's what really matters to you. That's somebody who is really authentically on this journey. Somebody that's not going to get all butthurt and offended if somebody else questions whether or not they are a twin flame. If you don't get all butthurt and offended by that question, you probably did meet your twin flame. So there you go, guys. There's the signs. Great video today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later.